Listen up, hockey fans. You're in the right place. A no-hold-barred debate between two hockey fans. Stay up to date on current issues in the NHL, even the controversial ones. Welcome to The Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud.
Good evening. Welcome to the Debate Hockey Podcast. Yeah, we're at 136. I'm the host of the show, Brad Burud. Joined alongside my co-host each and every week, Blake Friars. I don't know, Blake. Tonight's a weird night, it seems like. I don't know. I'm out of sorts. So it could be like a wild-ass podcast. It's going to be like either epic and memorable or shitty and forgettable.
Well, the last few have been pretty good. The last few have been pretty good.
Sounds like our hockey team.
Yeah. So you don't know what you're gonna get. Yeah. I mean, one minute you're making Montreal look like a superstar team, and the next you're sweeping Toronto Maple Leafs, who are supposedly the best team in the NHL. So we'll see what happens.
They're not the best. This North Division, I got a problem with it.
It's bad.
I got a problem with it. I love it. I love this. I love having the All Canada division, but I have completely, and it's my own fault. It's my own doing.
Well, you lose track of the rest of the league. I know. Oh, yeah.
There's a couple teams I have not watched a game yet this year. There's a couple teams I have not watched. I have not watched a New Jersey Devils game.
I watched the Islanders for the first time the other day. I have not watched actually, I watched you're gonna laugh at me. I watched a Buffalo versus New Jersey game. And
I watched
yeah.
You know what, another team that I have not watched this year? I have not watched the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Really? I've seen one game.
I don't know if it's because I'm just
I watched my first Carolina game the other day.
Yeah, I've watched a few of theirs.
Well, you get death threats every day, so
I'm making up to them.
So I enjoy watching Florida. They're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, they're really. I've watched.
You know who is actually exciting? You know who is actually like not boring to watch is Minnesota Wild.
I have not watched.
Before I hopped on the pod today, I was watching Minnesota versus Vegas. It was 1-0 Minnesota in the second period. So that Kaprizov kid is something else. Like he's completely rejuvenated that hockey market. I mean, he's probably the favorite to win the Calder right now. So good for them. Good on them for finding a player in the fifth round like that. And he turned out to be a good player.
Did you see Matthew Barzell's between the legs goal?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was a nice goal. One of the nicest goals I've seen in a long time.
And the speed he did it at, that was.
And like he like pulled it to the left, brought it back to the right, through his legs, and still put it upstairs. Like impressive stuff.
Ovi spears Trent Frederick in the nuts. Frederick drops his gloves, and Ovi.
No. That was before. Frederick dropped his gloves before Ovi speared him. Okay, so Trent Frederick, this guy is turning into a pest.
That's good. But wait a second. So why is Ovi not spears a guy and won't drop his gloves?
That was after.
Either way, he didn't drop the gloves.
Okay, listen. Trent Frederick, first of all, what the hell are you doing? First of all, this guy is two-handing Ovechkin in the back of the legs, two-handing him, he's cross-checking him. All of a sudden, then he drops his gloves. Ovi's like, what are you doing? I'm not going to fight you. It's in the offensive zone. Why would Ovechkin drop the gloves with Frederick?
If I was Boston next game, I would make Ovi's life pure hell.
So listen, first of all, if you're Ovechkin, who the hell is Trent Frederick to Ovechkin? Absolute nobody.
Who cares?
Third period rolls around. Frederick's still in his grill, and Ovechkin game one probably should have got suspended. It was dirty. I would have been fine with a 1-game suspension.
Then he comes out in the press, but he won't because it's at OV. But if that would have been freaking Marchand, he'd have got suspended for 4 games.
Well, yeah, because of his track record.
Okay, well, you regard. Okay, I mean, I don't know. And then Ovi's little smart ass comment. I was testing my flex on my stick. I would test my flex on my stick over Ovi's back next game.
That's fine. I wouldn't want to fight Ovi. He's a tough customer. He's a tough guy. I wouldn't want to fight Ovechkin, man. Those Russians got something in their blood.
Habs fire their goalie coach in the middle of the game. What the fuck?
I don't know the whole story on that. And to hear Bergevin say that Carey Price had nothing to do with it, I think he's full of shit, because you don't make that big of a decision without consulting with your 2 goaltenders.
Oh, you do. It's not your goal. Your goaltenders don't pick their goalie coach.
They probably have a big say in what goes on.
They shouldn't.
You're telling me Carey Price, if Carey Price doesn't want to work with the guy, they're not going to do something about it? Hold on.
At this moment, Carey Price should have no say in it because he's a
okay. But I'm thinking that Carey Price maybe didn't like where his game's at, obviously, and he wanted a new voice in there. That is a possibility because Sean Burke Sean Burke's one of the best goalie coaches in the league.
So it's not Carey Price's fault that he sucks?
No, I'm not saying that. Obviously, he struggled. Obviously, he's not playing up to his expectations, of course. But I mean,
that sounds like a millennial comment.
It's the same thing when you fire a coach, you hope to spark something, right? It's the same thing in net. It's the same thing. You get a new guy in there, and you hope that you can
maybe the red light blinking behind him should spark something.
Well, I mean, Carey Price hasn't been very good. Obviously, I mean, Jake
Allen's been good,
but Montreal hasn't been very good in front of them lately either. I mean, they played better as of late. They pumped Winnipeg 7-1 the other night. So it's there's a difference in Montreal with the way the lines have been deployed. I mean, Kotkaniemi's playing with in a higher role. He's playing with the Foley Anderson, where he should have been probably playing all year. I mean, they drafted Kotkaniemi 3rd overall for a reason, right? Like he shouldn't be playing 3rd line center for them. I mean, Montreal's got a lot of problems though right now. I mean, Philip Deneau, I don't even think he has a goal right now.
Their center depth is
it's
young.
Here's the thing. If Philip Deneau is playing to his ability, this team would be a lot better. Because this is the guy that's a good 2-way center. He's been in Selke conversation the last 2-3 years, and he can score you goals and dish the puck. He's not doing any of that right now. So it's kind of leaving a glaring hole down the middle for Montreal.
You ready to start the show?
We could. We
want to keep justifying Carey Price.
Yeah. I like Carey Price.
I'm running ragged this week, man. I got a busy week.
I like Carey Price.
Gymnastics is wrapping up for my daughter, so we're running to tournaments the next 2 weekends, or meets or whatever. Yeah, what do you call them? Baseball started for my son, so we have 5:30 or 6:30 in the morning baseball practices already.
Good God! Oh my God! That's like on the or not in the NHL, minor league hockey. Yeah, the kids need to be on the ice 7 times a week. What the hell do these kids need to be practicing at 6:30 a.m.?
That's crazy. Sunday, you know what I did yesterday? I watched golf. I watched golf all day.
What tournament was it? Was it Arnold Palmer?
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah. Who won?
DeChambeau.
I
found myself cheering against him. I don't know why.
It's man, I'm just hoping the Tiger's okay. I mean, that was a scary accident. But
there's gonna be more of that one coming out, I think.
It'll be interesting to see.
There's gonna be more to that story coming.
You're probably right, but I mean, dude, I think his career might be over. I mean, 2 broken legs,
I do too.
A shattered ankle at his age. I mean, you could play golf competitively into your 50s, right? But man, like that, an injury like that, to a guy that has had like back issues and lower body issues, that's gonna be a tough injury to recover from. I hope the best, because I mean, when Tiger's on and he's in contention on a Sunday, he's wearing red. I mean, that's good for the game of golf, right? I mean,
yeah, it's
unbelievable for golf. When Tiger Woods won the Masters in 2019, everyone was like, "Holy shit!" Like, let's go. But let's talk about hockey. Enough with the golf talk.
Our internet's not good tonight. You know that?
I know.
It's not good.
I've been having problems, but
I have too.
I don't know.
All right, on with the episode. Today we're going to talk about, does Tom Wilson get a fair shake? We'll talk about unfinished business in Calgary. Parise gets benched. Green, Seabrook retires. Some dirty hits in the homeless nights. It's going to be a good episode. Check out manscaped.com. Get yourself a lawnmower 3.0, 20% off and free shipping if you use the promo code DEBATE. I don't know why you wouldn't. Go on over to manscaped.com. Get yourself a new razor and keep yourself trimmed like you should. All right, Blake. I don't like talking about this guy because I don't really like him, but I feel like we have to. Tom Wilson. He, just recently got suspended 7 games by the National Hockey League Player Safety. Department of Player Safety. Jeez, I told you. Yeah. Ran defenseman Brandon Carlo. It'll mean $311,000 in lost funds for Mr. Wilson. And your take on this hit?
I don't know what to think of this. I mean, out of all the hits that Tom Wilson's got suspended for, I mean, that's probably the least dangerous. Would you agree?
I don't know about that. No, well,
Tom Wilson has had so many like blatant, dirty. Like this guy got suspended for 15 games. Like this hit. Like I'm fine with a 2-minute boarding or a 2-minute charging call. And like, I really like. If this is a 7-game suspension, I don't even think like maybe 1 to 2 games. I think it's because of his track. I think it's because of his track record and his suspension history. Obviously, that played a huge part in it. But like,
it should.
I think the NHL could have gave Tom Wilson a break here. Honestly,
what message does that send to the rest of the league?
Hockey's a physical sport, man. You're gonna get cracked.
Okay, so let me ask.
And the first point, the thing that made it look bad was how his head hit the glass. His first point of contact wasn't his head; it was his shoulder. And the force that he hit him with, his head just smashed into the glass. Unfortunate injury for Carlo, but dude, that's not worth 7 games.
Okay,
it's not.
Yeah, we'll rewind a little bit. This hit, though, here's the problem I have with this hit.
It's unnecessary, no doubt.
It's completely unnecessary. He could have hit him really hard without doing what he did. Mm-hmm. You could see the look in his eyes as he's coming in like, oh boy. That's my problem. It's not so much the hit. I think this is, no, it's not. You're right. I agree with you. It's not even close to Tom Wilson's worst hit. No, not even close. But the way he came and the angle he took, he knew what he was doing and he knew exactly what he was going for.
But he did.
And then the cross check to the back of the head from Vrana was equal. He should have got 2 games.
Yeah, the thing about the Department of Player Safety, it's so inconsistent, man.
No, it's not. This suspension. No, wait. Listen. This suspension is based off his history.
Okay,
Blake,
let me tell you something.
In real life.
Let me tell you something. Tyler, remember the Tyler Myers hit on Armia?
Yeah, I thought that should have been the suspension.
Okay, so did you see the hit on Nathan McKinnon?
I did. I was going to actually talk. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, we'll talk about that now.
Pretty similar hits.
Yeah,
and one was suspended and one wasn't. So, like, what are we doing here?
You know, I thought the McKinnon hit. Okay, well, okay. Let's talk about a different hit. I'm trying to think of who the player was. The Blackhawks player that hit Zernick yesterday.
Yeah, it was Conor Murphy.
Yeah, Conor Murphy. Now, what did you think of that hit?
I don't know. I don't like. Is he getting a hearing?
Yeah, I think so. I think he is.
Like,
to me, that was a more of a. Okay, I always look at hits this way. Blake, this is the way I use it.
The thing about here, just let me make this one point. Now I'll let you talk. The thing about hits is everybody loves playing replays in slow motion. So everybody loves the slow motion replays. That makes hits look so much worse because hockey's like this. So fast, stuff happens so fast. Split seconds decisions, stuff happens. I mean, you put that in slow mo. Yeah, the Tom Wilson hit looks worse in slow mo than it does like live action. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I always look at hits as the direction you take, and does the other player have his head down?
Yeah, obviously you don't want to hit a defensive player.
No, I think I'm more okay with hitting a guy legally, not leaving your feet, keeping your elbows on, that has his head down. I'm fine with that. That's on him, man. Your job is to keep your head up in hockey. I look at the hit, the Murphy hit, the Chicago one. Zernick had his head totally buried in the puck. Buried in the puck.
Looking for quarters. What do you expect?
I call that a good hit. Carlo didn't. Wilson came right at him. And that was my turning point on that hit. Did Wilson go right at his head? No, I don't think he did. But he targeted him, and Carlo, it was defenseless, is the way I look at that one. Now, the McKinnon hit, I didn't think that one was, I don't know. He bad. Kind of caught him in the head.
He caught shoulder, and then he caught his chin. Did he get suspended because it's Nathan McKinnon? That's crazy to think.
It is. It's the truth. Okay, so let me ask you this: did you see the hit that Tanev had on?
I was just gonna bring that up. I was just gonna actually bring that up.
Had his head.
Chris Tanev left his feet.
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
He slightly left his feet, but it was a clean hit. It was an open ice hit.
He never left his feet. Turris had his head buried in the ice.
I was like, I had to rewind. I said, wait a second. Chris Tanev did that? Like, you don't see that much from Tanev. You don't really see that from Tanev.
He's not a dirty player. He just hits hard. And that was all on Turris.
Yeah.
But I don't like, and here's what I don't understand. How come if something happens bad to the Blue Jackets and Tortorella says something, he gets fined immediately? But Ovechkin can come out and lip off and say whatever he wants, and the rest of the the Washington Capitals can say whatever they want and degrade the league and drive down player safety and complain about the officiating, and no one does anything to him. I would have said, Ovechkin, you just talked like that, $30,000. Boom, have a nice day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess the NHL is inconsistent sometimes, and that is one thing that they are inconsistent about is they're very quick to penalize coaches before players all the time.
For sure.
They go to bat for players more than they do their staff. So that's been well known for a long time.
I don't get it. Let's move on and talk about some unfinished business in Calgary. And Thursday night, Calgary beats Ottawa 7-3.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to the post-game radio show on the 960. Pat Steinberg and the boys are talking and listening, and all of a sudden it just sounded like something was out of whack. And Steinberg said, well, we're going to cut to a commercial now. And as soon as he said that,
I was listening to it
too. I saw my Twitter account say that Jeff Ward had been fired. And I instantly was like, it took me like 3 takes to be like, okay, is this a fake account? Because
I looked for the check mark too. I was like, wait, what's going? They just won 7-3. I was like, what is going on here?
But no, I'm not so surprised that he got axed, because I would have axed him 2 weeks ago. But the fact that they're bringing in Daryl Sutter made me giggle inside. Because you know what it's going to do in Calgary? It is going to answer every question that a Calgary Flames fan has had for the last 3 years. 5 years. It's going to answer every question. We're going to know exactly where this team's going in a month from right now.
Yeah, you will. I like Daryl Sutter. I think he's a hard-nosed coach. He's basically like John Tortorella. I mean, he's very demanding. He's a demanding coach. He knows what it takes to win. And it wasn't that long ago where he won 2 Stanley Cups in LA, 2012, 2014. I mean, that's 7-8 years ago. I understand that.
Not that long ago.
The game hasn't changed that much. If anything's changed, it's gotten faster. I mean, but it's get like you heard Lucic. He said, "Buckle up." I mean, he played for Daryl Sutter when he was in LA for 1 year.
By Lucic saying that, you know what that tells me? That Lucic knows that some of these guys on this team are soft as pancakes and are going to get.
They're going to be fucking up on the popcorn stand if they don't buckle up. I mean, I think this is going to be a learning experience for a guy like Johnny Gaudreau, Sean Monahan. You saw Sean Monahan delivering some hits against Alberta. You don't really see that from him. It was such a letdown. I mean, they came out with such passion and emotion against Edmonton, and then I watched the game last night against Ottawa. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, it's 2 different games. You got to have the same response.
I saw a funny tweet last night. I can't remember who put it.
The Daryl Sutter's practice is going to be 3 hours.
No, not that one. The one where the Alberta Department of Health and Safety just put out a warning about an elderly man in his mid-60s on a tractor with his mouth foaming headed towards Calgary.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what goes down in Calgary, because, like, I agree with you. I think that Daryl Sutter is the perfect coach for this group. And the fact that he signed up for a 3-year deal means he's in it for the long haul.
Well, it also tells us in Calgary that it won't be a rebuild. It'll be a retool.
Yep.
And Sutter will likely, in my mind, probably have some player personnel decisions or some strong input on who stays and who goes.
If there's players that don't want to play his system, they're fucking out the door.
Well, I can already predict. I know there's going to be a couple that. You want to hear some of my predictions? I think Johnny Gaudreau is going to play his last year in Calgary this year. I hope. So, in a way, I'm wrong. Oh,
who knows? Maybe he plays good under Sutter. I don't know.
Johnny Gaudreau hasn't went into a corner.
Maybe Johnny Gaudreau is goes into corners now and comes out with the puck and delivers hits and scores goals. I don't know.
If I said to you, who do you see in the NHL that sticks a stick out and does the quick fishy thing more than anybody else, you'd say Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
Daryl Sutter is going to hate that. The little flyby.
Did you notice how Kachuk didn't talk to his brother yesterday? You notice
No,
that?
because he knows that Sutter will kill him for that.
That's I said. As soon as Sutter got hired, he didn't do it. No tummy tucks with Daryl Sutter on the job.
You know what? I don't know that Matthew Tkachuk makes it through this.
You're crazy to me. You're crazy. Ooh,
He needs to start producing.
What can you get from Matthew Tkachuk, dude?
Let me ask you a question.
Relax.
Let me ask you a question.
The fan base, they did the same with Elias Pettersson. Oh, he has 3 goals in 15 games.
Let me ask you a question.
Games. He picked it up.
When is the last time you saw Matthew Tkachuk shoot a puck into the net? Shoot a puck
literally against Ottawa. What are you talking about?
In the shootout.
No.
Okay, in the shootout.
In the 7-3 win, he had a beautiful goal.
He shot the puck into the net or he tipped it?
I'm pretty sure he shot it short side. I'll have to double check. But
I thought Dubé scored. I thought that was a pass from Tkachuk.
I don't know, but regardless.
I'm just saying he's got to step his game.
You don't trade players like Tkachuk. You just don't do it.
I don't think they're going to trade Tkachuk. I don't think so. But I think he's.
You literally just texted me and said, "What can you get for Tkachuk?" You want him out the door.
I want him to step his game up because he's the highest paid player on this team, and he's not playing like a highest paid player should be playing. Sean Monahan's been a disgusting joke lately. What am I saying? He's been that for 2 years. You know who I think is going to thrive on this whole thing? Why do I feel like Sam Bennett and Sutter are going to get along just fine?
That's one of my 3 questions, so we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
But no, I think Sutter's going to be. He's going to have his fingerprints all over this team. He wins his first game Tuesday,
Thursday.
Oh, they have 3 days off. Oh, okay,
yes.
okay.
Thank God we played.
Yeah, so Sutter. Oh fuck! I don't want to hear your excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
Stop that nonsense.
I borrowed your Vancouver Canucks book of excuses.
Okay, I want it back, please.
I know because you're going to need it. You're playing Montreal tomorrow or tonight.
We're playing them right now. Just don't let the Foley touch the puck, and we should be good tonight.
So it's going to go one of 2 ways in Calgary. Either they're going to have success and go on a run this year and make it to the playoffs, and which I don't know how mathematically you almost have to win 2 out of 3 games now if you're a Canucks or Flames player to get the playoffs. And
you gotta win every series.
So they really had to go on a run. So one of the things is going to happen, or there's going to be no playoffs, and then you're going to dismantle the players that aren't buying into his system.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
That's where it's going, because there's no way Sutter's going to demand hard work, and you know what? We need that in Calgary right now, because it is pretty sad when you have to get ready for a game and wonder what team's going to show up if they're going to work hard. That's pretty sad in the National Hockey League.
Yeah.
Inside Edge Hockey News. Dropping the gloves. And stirring the pot.
All right, let's go around the league and talk about some different things happening. Zach Parise got benched earlier in the week or later in the week last week. And his coach said it was because of an overextended shift. He claimed he was trying to get
a hat trick.
Then I also heard a story, and this was on the Real Kipper podcast, I believe, that in an exit meeting, Zach Parise had like 18 pages of notes and complaints. And one of them was that the coaching staff never put him on the ice at the end of a game to collect empty netters. And I'm like, I don't know. I've always respected Zach Parise. I don't know. I don't know. I'm shocked at how good things are going in Minnesota. But when I heard about this and I thought, oh man, is this when things are going good in Minnesota, is this a fish you want to fry right now?
Yeah, it's definitely not probably not the right timing for that. I mean, creates a distraction and I don't want to say toxic, but I mean like behavior like that from a guy who's supposed to be a leader in that room just isn't very good.
Yeah. Let's talk about your Vancouver Canucks right now. And your general manager had a little discussion this past week with the media and preached patience. And he also talked about that he believes in Green and likes what he's doing.
Okay, why didn't he fucking sign then?
That's what I'm going to ask you. What's your take on this whole topic?
I don't know. Jim Benning had a 30-minute Zoom call and I listened to about 5 minutes and I fucking turned it off because I don't want to hear that we're in a fucking pandemic. I don't want to hear that we played the most games. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want right now. That is not what Canucks fans want to hear. They want a fucking plan. They want a plan. And
so what is the plan?
If this guy's plan, okay, let me tell you this. If it was all along that Vancouver wasn't going to be good till 2023, why are you trading Tyler Madden a second-round pick for Tyler Toffoli? Why are you trading a first-round pick for JT Miller? That trade worked out pretty good. He's a good player for us. 2023, there's going to be 1 year left on Miller's contract.
I still think that was a good move.
Great move. But if you were not going to be competitive for 3-4 years down the road, you shouldn't be trading assets.
You have to have some guys showing the way, though, Blake. You have to have some guys showing the way.
The Tyler Toffoli trade is so confusing to me. It's so confusing to me. Why would you trade a top prospect and a second-round pick for a guy you didn't even re-sign? You didn't even attempt to re-sign him.
But I think you're forgetting about how far they went the last year.
It wasn't because of Tyler Toffoli.
Well, you were believing they were a cup contender in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, they went away from the conference final. Like I understand that, but I'm thinking that's why
he made the move. You got to take the advantage of those situations when you have them.
Yeah, I understand that, but and then Tanner Pierce.
If he wouldn't have done anything last year, Blake, you'd have been mad.
Well, I like Tyler, man. I think he's gonna be a good player. I don't know, like Tyler Toffoli was just such a good fit in Vancouver, and just to not even offer him a deal.
You're not mad about that trade. You're mad they didn't re-sign him, Blake.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
well, don't blame it on the trade.
But I'm also saying, I don't know. Like, it's just contradicting. Stuff just contradicts itself. It's just like they got some guys on the way. Like Podkolzin's coming. Jack Rathbone's done well down in Utica. Demko's played well. Like I've said, I'll give Jim Benning credit. Like when you put together, when you're doing a puzzle, okay, what do you do? What do you do when you start a puzzle? You get all the edge pieces, correct? Jim Benning, he's got the edge pieces done. He's got the core in place. But the shit he put in the middle, Erickson, it's like putting fucking pieces upside down. It's like he has like 10 pieces left to complete this puzzle, and he's putting them in backwards.
Well, you were happy as hell when they signed Myers.
Oh, you got the clip?
Yes, I have the clip.
Okay, play it next pod because I don't think so.
You said
I like the Beagle signing. I don't like the Roussel signing. I don't like the Myers signing. I don't like the Erickson signing. Those are contracts that have handcuffed this team and their window. The Canucks had a window. The Canucks had a window when Pettersson and Hughes were on their ELCs. They had a 2-year window. Now the window's closed, and now the window's. We need 2 more years now. Jim Benning said in 2014, we can turn this team around quick. This is 2 more years will be 9 years. Nine for 2 playoff fucking appearances? 9. That's what we're doing here? That's the plan? Now, a 9-year rebuild is the plan?
Blake,
I'm being serious. Dude, asking Canucks fans for 2 more years of patience is like,
should be easy. You guys are used to.
No, like it's like I'm trying to find an example, like I don't know, man. It'd be like a high risk person going and coughing in a nursing home.
Did you take your medication?
The same thing. That's the same thing. I didn't think we could be talking about this shit right now, but like here we are
related to COVID. Like, thanks a lot. Like, I want to talk about that.
Here we are, man. But like, God, it's just so frustrating how like the Canucks got all this talent on this team, and like we still need 2 years. It's like, it's stupid. It's dumb.
Brent Seabrook retires after 15 years. Good career. Just a good,
great career. Great career overshadowed by a horrendous contract, which is unfortunate. He played really well to earn that deal, and obviously the his health didn't stand up. But man, 2010, 2012, 2014, 2010, 2013, 2015, him and Duncan Keith were rocks for Chicago back there. They were a shutdown D pairing, one of the best in the league. Wish him the best, and hopefully he has the best health. He's got a young family and kids, so that's more important than playing the game of hockey is getting your health right. So what a great career by Brent Seabrook.
Talk about a couple dirty hits here.
Again, I thought we already talked about them.
Different types of hits, not really hits. Dirty plays.
Dirty talking about Brad Pesce's slew foot that got a fine.
Yeah.
What a
How about
joke!
How about Yamamoto's?
Yeah, that was just as dirty. Like, man,
them were dirty.
And I don't want to hear. If that was Matthew Tkachuk, he would have got 10 games. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that.
He would have.
I want to hear that because why is that, Brad? Because of his suspension track record, maybe his track record in the league, maybe.
Let's talk about the track record. Tell me the name of the times Tkachuk's been suspended. He's never been. He's been suspended one time.
Okay, but he's
been suspended one time.
He's been labeled as a dirty player, though, Brad.
Oh, how can you say that?
Is Yamamoto a dirty
Who's he been dirty with? Who's he been? Well, not anymore, because next time Calgary plays him.
I don't know.
Daryl Sutter is going to send old freaking Richie out after him.
I wouldn't say that Tkachuk is a dirty player, but he's not. Man, he cuts that line so quick. He is like this close many times to crossing the line. It's like, this guy is like, he's walking the line. He's tiptoeing across that line, but he doesn't cross it lots. Sometimes he crosses it, but that's just the kind of player he's a good player.
Yamamoto gets fined $3,000.
But I thought the Brett Pesce. I thought the Pesce slew foot was way dirtier because he kicked the skate out, like dragged him down. Like that was that suspension written all over it, man.
Oh, for sure. Both of them.
Like what the hell? Like what is going on here?
So let's talk about
that's what I'm saying. Like the player safety is so inconsistent, man. Like I don't know what's suspendable and what's not anymore.
Let's talk about this odd story. Vegas Golden Knights are in San Jose, and the hotel that they stayed at had recently filed for bankruptcy.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden just abruptly closes its doors while they were out at the arena for the day. And so they had to return to the hotel and get all their crap and get out. Like, is that not the goofiest thing that you've ever heard of?
Yeah, I actually just saw that.
Hey, by the way, a little side note, you can pin that on the California government.
I just saw that.
One more corona casualty in California.
I just saw that that they got kicked out for. I think I saw that today.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it. You go to morning skate and you come back and you're freaking sorry, gotta go.
Yeah, it's odd. That's odd.
What? Like, one other quick thing that I ran across today is evidently there was a board of governors meeting today, or was it must have been a phone conference for the board of governors, but they are proposing NHL draft lottery changes. Obviously nothing has happened yet, but the proposal says that that teams limited to no more than 2 lottery wins in a 5-year span. I'm all for that.
Yeah, it kind of punishes though, like the Buffalo State, like get better. I understand that, like it forces teams to get better.
How many more do you need?
I know. I like you talk about Edmonton. They got what 5? Like, how many do you need? Like that's a question, right? So, I to be honest, I don't think they're going to change it. I don't think so. So
I don't think they will either. But the other part of it was that teams will be only allowed to jump up 10 spots. I don't know.
Well, now it's 15.
Yeah.
You can go from 17 to 1 or whatever, 15 to 1 or whatever it is. Like I think the Jets went from 13 to 2 to get Line A at number 2, so that 1 year. So it's we'll see what happens.
Before we roll into 3 questions, we'd like to offer our condolences to the Gretzky family and friends on the passing of Walter Gretzky, Canada's hockey dad, I guess you'd label him as.
Yeah.
I never got to visit with the man. I did see him one time in person, and that was in Toronto. And our thoughts and prayers go to the Gretzky family. Are you ready for 3 questions, Blake?
Let's go.
It's one shot, not a future before. Let's go.
It's time for 3 questions.
All right, Blake. It was my turn last week to fire 3 questions at you, and your turn this week. Let's go.
Who gets Taylor Hall, and what do you get for him?
All right, skip that question, because that is our listener question. I'm not even joking.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious, dude. All right. Go on to question 2.
Do you think Daryl Sutter will bring the best out of players like Sam Bennett and Milan Lucic?
I don't know if you can get much more from Milan Lucic. I think that old fat ass is about as fast as he can go right now, and clicking goals about as fast as he can go right now. And I don't have a problem with Milan Lucic right now. Sam Bennett's going to go one or 2 ways. Either he's not going to get a chance and management's already made their decision on him, or they're going to let him visit with Daryl Sutter. And I don't know. I just feel like the way Sam Bennett can play, that would be a match made in heaven for him and Daryl Sutter.
The way that he plays, though, is like the playoff style Sam Bennett. That's not sustainable over a full season. Like, that is so hard in your body.
You got to find a little bit of a happy medium.
Yeah, you're right.
A little bit of a happy medium. You can't do that 82 games, but you have to have a little bit of a. You can't be, Sam Bennett that's a non-factor for 82 games. You have to be a factor. So
yeah,
I'm interested to see that one. I'm probably the most interested to see how it goes with Monahan, second Gaudreau, third Bennett.
Nashville is in 6th place in the division, 11-14 on the year, a minus 21 goal differential. Is teardown coming in the Music City?
Yes.
When?
I think the two teams we're going to see the biggest teardown is going to be Nashville, number one, because their general manager has balls and will do it, and Buffalo, number two. And Buffalo will do it flat ass because they don't know what else to do.
Yeah, they might not have a choice.
How do you tear down something that's been torn down 10 times? Like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, where are you tearing down to? You've already been torn down.
I feel so bad for Eichel. Like, he signed that deal. He made his bed, but I don't know. It's tough.
Is he maybe part of the problem too? I don't know. I don't know why I'm even saying that. I'm just saying, like,
yeah, it's interesting.
I don't know. Can you think of another question off the top of your head or not?
You kind of put me in a blender here.
You don't have to. I'm not gonna like hold you on it and tell you how stupid you are or something. You want to ask me what my favorite burger is,
you picked the Islanders to miss the playoffs this year. Are you surprised that they're off to a hot start?
Did I pick them to miss the playoffs?
Yeah, you picked them 5th, I think.
I don't know. I got my sheet right here. Let me grab it.
I think you picked them to miss.
Jeez, I just made a ton of noise there. Let's open the book of predictions. I have the New York Islanders 3rd in the East. So
okay. I thought you had them missing. Are you surprised?
I have the Rangers missing, and I have the Flyers missing.
For some reason, I thought that you had the Islanders missing. My fault. Are you surprised that they're doing so well? Like they're first in that division. To me, I had them out of the playoffs.
No, I am. That's a good division. I mean, you got Boston and Washington in that division. I mean, the Islanders to be where they're at's pretty shocking. They weren't even there 3 weeks.
They're 15 or like 16-5 or something? Let me look.
I don't have that in front of me.
Let me look.
I'm trying to look and see who else, and I'm really wrong on Chicago. I had Chicago finishing 7th. I had Dallas out of the playoffs, though.
So I had Edmonton's up 3-1. Losing. All right, let me see here. Standings. Division. Yeah, they're 15-6-4. Like that's pretty impressive. Plus 17 goal differential.
You ready for the listener question?
Yeah, let's
Lane Gagnon, Rochester, New York, writes this one. Taylor Hall will again be a UFA at the end of the regular season. What type of term and dollar amount will he be looking for? And what type of term and dollar amount do you think he'll be offered?
Well, he ain't getting that term and dollar in Buffalo.
Nor should he.
Taylor Hall is going to sign another 1-year contract next year.
How many times can you do that, though?
As long as you want. I mean, you're in a flat cap world, so you're not going to get the dollar that you want with your term, right? Taylor Hall is 29, 30 years old. Probably should be signing a 5-6 year deal next year. It's not going to get value.
How much would you give him?
I give him 6 to 8 mil. I give him 6. If I was Colorado, I'd give him 6.
Have you watched him this year?
I'm betting on Taylor Hall to be Taylor Hall. I mean, he's in a tough situation right now. I mean, he's definitely getting traded. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Colorado. I think Colorado could afford that for an $8 million deal to come in on a 1-year deal, right? So I think you put Taylor Hall on the wing with McKinnon and Rantanen. That looks dangerous.
Does he come to Calgary?
I don't think Calgary can afford him.
Well, if they don't have Johnny Gaudreau, they might be able to.
Yeah, right. Unless Buffalo wants to retain salary to get a better deal back. I mean, if you retain some salary, you'll probably get more picks and prospects back for him. And I think that GMs want to know what's going on with the draft so they know the value of those picks, right?
Yeah.
They want to know if it's getting pushed back. So, I mean, if a draft's not going to happen for what they said 2022, like pushed back and have like two at the same time. Am I reading that correctly?
There's so much up in the air on that right now. I'm reading a bunch of different ideas and things, and I got a feeling when it's all said and done, it'll be a normal draft this year.
Yeah, I just think that I don't know what to think about Taylor Hall, man. I don't know what to think about the Buffalo Sabres. What a disaster that is. I mean, we thought maybe they slowly start to turn the corner, but I said last week, I mean, they need a goalie. Go out and get Freddie Anderson. Give Taylor Hall's money to Anderson, and go from there. You got to build that team from the net out, right? You got Darlene back there shutting down that defense. You got a goalie like Anderson in there, kind of settle things down, and then you start building up front. So, I mean, all rebuilds. I'm a firm believer in that you got to build from your goaltender out. You get a good goaltender in there, and then you put the rest of the pieces in place and see what happens. So that's where I'm at.
I have a late entry as a listener question too. You ready for this one?
Go ahead.
Now that the Vancouver Canucks have beaten Toronto 2 times in a row, where is Blake?
Seth Hagen texted you this.
This is a good question. This is a really good question. Now that the Vancouver Canucks have beaten Toronto 2 times in a row, where is Blake sitting on the Canucks Stanley Cup bus? Driver's seat or right over the driver's shoulder?
Yeah, I'm definitely right over the driver's shoulder, driving off the cliff for 2 more years of pain.
I said, I think he's the guy filling up the tank with diesel.
Yeah, fuck.
Oh, Blake, I don't know, man. I don't know what
we're gonna have to ban Seth from listening to our podcast with questions like that.
I love that he listens every week. He's always got good input, and he's always got a jab on your Canucks, so I like it. Well, that was an interesting week of hockey. My team changed coaches. Your team started winning. I don't know which one's more of a surprise, but
2 more years, baby. We only need 2 more years. 2 more years of patience.
Blake and his Canuck problems.
Classic Jimbo. That's what that is, buddy.
Check back next week for another episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast. Check us out on YouTube at Inside Edge Hockey News. Subscribe if you would, please. And also check us out on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, review us. Get on over to manscaped.com. Use promo code DEBATE. Yeah, you'll get 20% off. And you know what? They'll even ship the stuff to you for free. Great grooming, everything at the Debate Hockey Podcast. Enjoy this week of hockey action. We'll talk hockey again next week. Get connected. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on Twitter at Debate Hockey. Also, make sure you check us out on our Facebook page, The Debate Hockey Podcast. Brad Burud can be found on Twitter at Brad Burud, and co-host Blake Friars can also be found on Twitter at Friars_Blake. If you like what you hear, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. The Debate Hockey Podcast can be found on all major podcast players, and please consider subscribing to the Inside Edge Hockey News on Patreon.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of the Debate Hockey Podcast with your host, Brad Burud. For more great content and to stay up to date, visit InsideEdgeHockeyNews.com and on Twitter at InsideEdgeHOCKE and Facebook at Inside Edge Hockey News. We'll catch you next time.
This has been a production of Inside Edge Hockey News Radio, copyrighted and distributed by the Inside Edge Hockey Media Group.